happy podcast.
Well, we're on a podcast.
Okay, well, thank you very much. You know where it is. Is everything okay?
Everything's not okay, but we're going to have to do it anyway. Just deal with the problems as they happen.
As usual.
We're out of time. Okay. Clicking in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hello.
Hello.
Is anybody there?
You're in my way. Get out.
Is anybody there?
You're knocking on air.
I know.
Some people knock on wood. Some people knock on
Air. Here.
Air.
Yes. I've got a massive headache today. How are you?
Why?
Why don't you ask my brain?
The brain.
It's not helping. That's not.
McFly.
That's not. That's
McFly.
not helping. It's not helping. I don't know. Might have to do something with the fact that I've been working a lot today.
What have you been working on?
Everything.
Don't know what that means.
I've been working on my CV. I've been working on my translation business. I registered with some translators. What do you call them? Not forums, websites, like places that have a lot of translators there.
Oh, rip-off agencies.
It's not agencies. It's you just register for free and people find you there.
Nothing is for free. Nothing is for free. There's a price we pay for everything.
Yes, and I was working on my profile and uploading pictures and CVs and cover letters and.
How many pictures and CVs and cover letters have you got then?
Like 2 for the and one and one and.
Are you talking in binary all of a sudden?
No.
1 0 1 1 1 0 1 1 1 0.
No, there's no many pictures and CVs, but it just hurts your brain when you have to do it. And you know, it's a lot of little things that you have to do, like a little thing, and then you have to go to somewhere completely else, and then you have to look for something, and then the little thing, and you just go step by step. It just takes ages, and it hurts your brain. And
I still have no idea what you've been doing today. You know, because it's interesting, because people say, oh, you know, they just call it work, right?
Yes.
And that's like saying, well,
okay, registering.
Abstract ninja.
Listen, registering and looking for jobs and applying for the jobs on each of the websites took me about an hour and a half each, right?
And I still don't understand why you're on the other end of that. Like
because that's where I am. That's where I am right now. That's where I am right now, and I can't get to the other end because I need to live off of something. And I need to work at my end where I am right now to survive right now. Okay? Yeah, I could.
Abstract,
Oh, never mind.
Zora.
It's not abstract. It's extremely unabstract.
Zora, can you get off the cushion, please? Because there will be a fight between you and your sister if you stay in that position there.
It's not abstract at all.
She wants a fight. She look. Zora is playing this little game where she wants a fight, and then the moment she gets hit, she cries, right? But she's setting it up for that. She's setting it up to look like she's the victim.
She doesn't want to fight. She just wants to sit where she was sitting before.
You see? No. She's just upsetting her sister. On purpose. She doesn't have to do that. I told you that was going to happen.
That's great. What are you going to do about it?
Me? You want me to go over there and do something about it? Oh, I'll tell you. I could go over there and do something. I regularly do. I regularly do solve the problems. In fact, I tend to solve the problems before they happen, so people don't see me solving the problems. I tend to sort of try to predict what is going to happen and then put in place little things to stop anything escalating and getting to a higher level or a higher point. So when people say, "Oh, you're not doing anything," it's like, well, I've done everything. I've put everything in place. I've organized it. I've set it up so I know there's not going to be a problem. So you have to have vision. You have to have vision and see into the future in terms of that. So I think that's something that people can work on in terms of personal development as a personal skill. This envisioning problems so that you can see the problem before it happens, so that you can avoid the situation. A lot of people just kind of stumble and blunder through their day without really too much of a thought about action, reaction, sense, consequence, in terms of all these different activities we need to think about. But I think that when we see a lot of people who don't seem to have problems, one of the things that we need to look to is what have they done to ensure they've got a clear road and they've got a clear path in front of them. And one of the ways is mental projection, seeing the different avenues of possibility, seeing the different roads of thought that exist, and preparing to avoid them, seeing what is coming, seeing what will be before it happens. I mean, that's one of the powers of human imagination. We have this ability as individuals to use our imagination to an extent that perhaps most other creatures on this planet can't do that. We've been given this gift, and it's kind of a crime not to use the gift of human imagination. It's almost a crime to not try to envision the future, because the truth is, if you can't see where you're going, you're probably not going to get there. Oh, and welcome back to the podcast. How's it going?
Cheese.
Cheese?
Cheese.
Are you taking a picture? Am I taking a picture?
Cheese always does the job.
Where's my
guys.
cheese? Who moved the cheese? That's a business joke that no one's going to get, but never mind.
It was a book, wasn't it?
It was a book. It was a book.
Probably still is.
Yeah, it probably hasn't morphed into something else, as books tend to stay books.
Well, sometimes they morph into movies or courses and stuff.
Well, they get transformed.
Yeah.
In that sense, I suppose.
They do.
Right. Well, you look completely fucked. What's happened to you?
Nothing.
I guarantee you I've had more stress than you today.
You have had more stress than me today. I've got just a massive headache and I've been solving problems all day.
Well, I've been solving problems all day as well.
Yeah. Didn't you just say that you prevent problems?
Yes, I do. I especially with the kids, right? I can see when something is going to happen.
Yeah, but you didn't prevent it. You were just standing here.
But I did say that I could see it coming.
Yeah.
The reason why I didn't go over there is because I've got this cable attached to me here.
Yeah,
and I'm sort of trapped in a corner. The way out is over there, and over here there's things that people can't see that I can't move. Like a chair full of, I don't know if these clothes are ironed or unironed. You're trying to shoot yourself from both sides. Wait a minute.
To be hung. I'm doing acupressure thing with my head to get rid of my migraine.
Oh yeah, me too. I'm doing the psychological version of it. Oh look, Tatiana's online. Hey.
Who there?
How's it going? Who's there?
Oh,
you've got
Franta, you mean?
You've got a friend in me.
Hi, Franta.
What?
It's Franta.
Tatiana's Franta?
Yes.
What? I always just thought Franta was Franta.
No.
Franta is not Franta?
No. Franta is Tatiana.
What? Why?
Oh, that's a long story, and it's not suitable for family-friendly broadcasting.
What, does it involve a photo shoot with
no,
lemons?
No, it involves some swear words and stuff.
Fanta.
Rather
Coca-Cola. 7-Up.
Not likely to go into it very much further deep down. Yeah.
What, you were all in the jungle together?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can imagine.
So what are we going to do today?
I was hoping that Tatiana, not Tatiana Franta, was, which is now her new name.
It's an old name, but never mind.
Oh well, there we go. I was hoping that she might have some questions.
She doesn't have any questions. She's got it all figured out.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's boring.
I know.
To have it all figured out.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it's just, oh my gosh, imagine getting up every day and not having any problems to solve.
I know.
How terrible.
I know. It's not terrible. It's cool. It's cool.
That you would know, right?
Well, okay. No, we all have some problems to solve. But
welcome to the Disney Channel. By the way, it's the Practical Parenting podcast.
Yes. So what are we going to talk about today? I've came across an interesting article about child's play.
Child's play.
Children's play.
Yeah.
Kids play.
You want to dive straight in?
Oh, well, I was thinking that we might as well. I mean, I don't know. What else do you have to dive into? Anything interesting happened in your life recently?
Well, that was the least natural sounding question I have ever heard.
That's because it was loaded.
Loaded?
Loaded. It's a loaded question.
Oh, it's because you imagined the answer before you even asked the question.
Because I know what interesting things happened in your life recently.
I'll tell you what.
Because I'm in your life.
Going on, right?
Yes.
I've been trying to teach Will the secret to initiation of conversation.
Yes, and you didn't get anywhere, did you?
No, I thought I was doing very well.
Yeah. No, yeah, I've noticed that sometimes he does approach us the conversation starts differently.
Yeah, well, most times he will go into the conversation saying, I, me, I, this, did you know that the third moon on Endor has
indoor moon.
Endor's a moon. Did I just say that? I don't even know.
Indoor. I thought you said there was a moon indoors.
Indoors? No. There's a.
Somebody's knocking.
If you can hear workmen in the background, it's.
You want more cheese?
It's the people who promised they wouldn't do any work.
Can you go and cut off some cheese for Jazzy?
1 o'clock and 3 o'clock. And I said when they promised that they would be lying through their teeth to buy time. I've covered this before, and once again, I'm right, because that's what they do.
Yes.
They buy time.
So yeah,
if it continues, someone is going to have to
Will does
talk
that.
to them.
Will does that. It's like his train of thoughts, right, is going full speed, and then suddenly he jumps out and jumps at you, right, and he just kind of continues in the same direction, but you don't know where he's been before. Do you know what I'm talking about?
What, he includes you in the middle of his own personal dialogue?
Yes, basically.
You can have that.
Yes. And he just goes, "That was very well, but you put it much better than I did."
Right, that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to translate for the people out there.
My weird language.
So that people understand what it is that you're trying to say.
Yes. Thank you very much for that, darling. So yeah, he just comes to your head. He just says, and and he just goes like, and Kylo Ren has a blue sword, and he chopped somebody else's head off. You've
fallen over again.
Yeah.
At least once every podcast you fall over.
Do you have a problem with that?
Well, no, just the people will think you're drunk.
I'm not drunk. I'm just standing on one foot.
Well, it's just pretty much the same as being drunk, really, as we've got 2 feet for a reason. Right? If it was okay to stand on 1 foot, we would all just be hopping around, wouldn't we?
It is okay because you're doing cheapos.
Cheapos?
Tree pose, like this.
Tripos, that's lovely.
Yes, thank you.
That's lovely.
So
I've been working on that with him to reverse the situation so that when he initiates a conversation with someone, he initiates it from the other side so that he's not talking about anything that he is doing or anything that interests him. Because how do you get a person interested in conversation? You become interested in what it is that they're doing.
Go.
If you need to pee, darling, you can sit on the potty there. Yeah, that's it. Good job.
Yeah, but he still has it in mind. I mean, he still does things like, he'll come to you and he says, how are you today, mommy? And I say, I'm fine, well, thank you. And then he'll go, and Kylo Ren has this blue sword.
Well, step by step, right? Rome wasn't built in a day.
Yeah, I know. It's just so funny when he does that. It's like he comes to you and he says, So how's your I don't know, baking going?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know exactly what's gonna happen after you answer that question.
No, but that's
it's a good beginning. Yes,
yeah,
it
that's
is.
what I'm saying. It's like
And I think you've done a good job.
In order to have the secret to conversation, in order to initiate communication with another person, you have to be interested in what they're interested in. Otherwise, they don't want to. Who wants to talk to you about what you want to talk about? I mean, that's not really a way to engage anyone at all.
Yeah, I know.
You have to find out what it is that's happening in the other person's world. You have to engage the other person psychologically. You have to find out what is on their mind. You have to
find out one thing that you have in common that makes communication possible. Because if there's nothing in common, then
you have to find what the way I look at it is you have to find what's on their radar. Yeah, what's happening in their world right now, which is important to them, that they can hopefully openly discuss and talk about. And you have to go into that by looking at what the other person is doing right now, or is thinking about right now, or is working on right now. Because, like I said to Will yesterday, you always use, when he comes to me now, he was always using the same question. And I said, okay, now you've got the idea that you need to ask me a question about what I'm doing. You now need to vary the question. You can't always ask the same question. It's like, what are you doing, or how's it going, or that looks interesting, what's that, or have you got a lot of work to do?
Do you think
can you tell me a little bit about what that is that you're doing?
Do you think that this is something that kids naturally pick up in like school environment by communicating with their peers and by observing other people communicating?
I don't think they get much opportunity for natural forms of communication in that environment. Although I could imagine.
Well, it doesn't have to be at school, but let me change that question and say with friends. What?
It's in the middle of a sentence.
Sorry.
You just talked over me and kept going.
I'm sorry.
Hey,
so
people!
Refining my question.
Did you see that? Did you see that? That was masterfully done.
I was refining.
I just got steamrolled. I was
refining my question because you gave me a sufficient answer to see that this was not going to go the way I wanted to go, because you were not going to answer the question that I was asking, basically.
Oh, so you wanted a specific answer?
Yes, I wanted to specify my question so that you actually answer what I want answered. Do you think that this is something that naturally develops just by communicating with friends? Doesn't have to be at school, anywhere else. Or is it something that needs to be like consciously ingrained? You know, 'cause they might, if they go somewhere and start talking to someone, they might just be told, "Oh, shut up," or "I don't care about that," or, you know, and that might give them the message that maybe that's not the way to do it.
Well, it's something that subconsciously is going to cross their mind, isn't it? It's like, how do I initiate a conversation with this person in this place? You know, how do I that they're often taught how to approach older people, but they're not taught how to approach people of the same age, perhaps. They're not communicating and interact that way.
They're not really taught how to communicate with older people, though. They're only taught, you know, they are taught at least when I was a kid, I was taught the polite formulas to say, you know, "Excuse me, may I, blah, blah, blah." But I wasn't taught anything about the actual communication.
Oh, you were told how to say things, but you were never taught
what I can or cannot say, or I don't know.
You were told the words to use, but you were never emotionally educated as how to approach the situation in an empathetic way, so that the other person will be open to you.
And there was so many times I was told off, right? Either for not approaching them properly or for being cheeky or whatever, that I just stopped approaching adults completely when I was a kid. I just wouldn't want to engage in a conversation with an adult because I just felt like at one point or another they're going to moralize, or they're going to tell me off for something, or, you know, they don't really. I'm going to tell them something exciting, and
you know, this background noise is going to be continuing.
Oh, I haven't noticed it. I'm just immune. I'm just immune to that sound now. I don't even notice that it's happening.
You can hear I don't even know how to describe that.
Small Beethoven sound.
No, it's like a child's toy gone wrong.
Yeah.
Which is the sound that the POTTYMAKES when it's FULL.
Do you have to spell out MAKES? Is that a bad word?
I don't know. I've started spelling, so I thought I would continue. Anyway, I'm asking you to go and sort it out, because it will.
I'm going.
Please. You don't have to explain it to me. It's all right. Just keep working on it. So, the formality, the way of approaching the conversation is something that we don't look at with children a lot. We don't look at the subtleties of it. We tend to leave them to figure things out for themselves, which is okay, which they do from observation of the environment, or from whatever they pick up from friends, or films, or whatever else it is that they're working on. So they're working on. Do kids work on films? They watch them. That's what that means. I tell you what, I was thinking about the workmen who are still banging away in the background, like the motherfuckers they are. So couldn't keep their word if the life depended upon it. Maybe it will. Who knows?
You talking to yourself?
So yeah, I have to because you ran away to do your duty. So so that's cool.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about the old system in Britain with communication between like teachers and students. Yeah?
Okay.
Where the teacher would be sir, but the student would be master.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would be, Master Jones, what do you think you're doing? I have this. It's a bit Harry Potter style, isn't it? You know, like that.
You sounded like Professor McGonagall.
Master. I don't know who that is actually.
That's an old woman, the old Scottish
I
woman.
sound like an old woman. I sound like an old Scottish woman.
She's
That's
Scottish.
wonderful.
She's got a Scottish accent, slight Scottish accent I think in the movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Master, I can't do a Scottish woman. I don't do that.
Oh, yes you can. You've got the beard.
God, and the moustache. Right.
Offended. Sorry.
Yes, of course. Master Potter, what do you think you're doing over there? Put that
You reminded me of that.
Put that wand down.
You sound drunk.
Open that. Is that sound what?
Drunk.
Oh,
You reminded me of that.
because all Scottish people.
What were
sound
you
drunk.
watching? That
They sound
scary
like
stuff.
They've downed half a barrel of.
Oh, what do you
whiskey
call
before
it?
breakfast.
What do you call that? The British comedy. That stuff that we watched about the
Oh, God.
the odd bod.
The Carry On
The
series.
Carry On thing, yeah. Yeah. You sounded like something from the Carry On thing. Like that guy. It's such a great. The dead guy was the.
Remember the dead guy? What?
The dead guy. He had such a great accent.
Ooh, no, but it was
That one.
higher pitch, wasn't it?
I don't know how he did it, but I could never reproduce that accent.
Ooh, I could murder someone right now.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, Carry On Screaming. Yeah, if you're looking for some silly, scary fun, then it's definitely Carry On Screaming.
It was really.
Because I knew that they did a parody of a horror film, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking, what was it? I was thinking, like, what? It must have some obvious name. I couldn't remember what the name of it was, so I googled like Carry On horror film, and it was Carry On Screaming. I was like, of course it's Carry On Screaming. What else could they? What else could they call it except Carry On Screaming?
Oh, you have to get
all-
some more Carry On movies.
It kind of gets a bit repetitive after a while. After you've seen 2 or 3, it's just the same jokes repeated again and again and again. But it is funny in a sort of cliched way. But I knew someone who once had all of the films, and he said that over the period of a month he watched them all, and he said after about 10, he said it was just hard work watching them because it was all basically the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh.
I would watch it just for that accent.
Yeah, they have their moments.
Just like the sound of English language.
The sound.
The sound. You don't have that sound.
I like the sound of silence, which you never get around here. Anyway,
Of course not.
it's never quiet
Wait
anymore.
20 years and then you're gonna be like, it's so quiet here.
No, you think? If
he's still alive.
I could be alone in a rocket in space and still get annoyed by the passing asteroids.
Probably, I can imagine. By the beat of your own heart. So annoying.
I have to stop it.
Oh, God.
Oh, right. I could murder a steak. Anyway. Through the heart.
Seriously, yeah. You are a person that gets very easily annoyed by noises and sounds.
That's because it destroys my concentration. Other people who are not annoyed are just not fucking doing anything, right? Other people want to be distracted by noises so that they don't have to do anything, or that they can't do anything. Or
I can filter noises. I can very effectively filter noises out. Like now I filtered that potty out, right? Subconsciously. I just didn't
erase those frequencies from your mind.
Yeah, seriously. It's like I didn't hear it. Obviously I did hear it, but it's, I just didn't focus on it.
It's because you weren't listening, Potter.
That's because I had to, all my life, I had to be able to focus with massively loud distractions going on around me.
Distractions? What were you in a Marvel film?
What'd you call it?
What?
What is it?
Well, I don't know what you... Distractions.
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 Okay. Wrong vowel.
There we go. Yes.
Okay.
Beware of those distractions.
I had 2 siblings. There was a lot of destruction going on at the same time. So.
Yeah, none of it caused by you, of course.
No.
Oh yeah.
I was the one focusing. I was the one sitting down and studying arduously. Is that a word?
It is now.
And people around me were jumping and pumping and screaming and playing loud music and playing television and stuff.
Yeah. Well, There you go. That's what happens. So let's move on. Moving on to things. I've got some things that might be worth looking at here as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
what things do you have?
Yeah, we're going to focus on this. I've completely ignored your fact you wanted to talk about play. In fact, I want to talk about play as well.
Good.
Maybe we can talk about play in the next meeting. Next time we see you.
Bye.
It's been nice.
See you next time. See you in 2 days.
Thank you. Right.
That's what it used to be, though, isn't it?
What? See you in 2 days?
Yeah. And you went to work at 7 while I was still in bed, and you came home at 10:30 while I was already in bed.
Well, that was called work.
Yeah.
Right? Most people don't do that. Most people go to
bed.
Most people go to their office and just scratch their nuts for 6 hours, and if they don't have nuts, they scratch someone else's, right? And that's.
You're not supposed to scratch nuts. You're supposed to crack them and eat them.
And eat them. That's what I've been doing wrong all
on the walnut. You itchy.
Itchy nut.
I'm so funny again.
You are.
Okay.
You are. You know, when I...
It's going to be my brand.
When I itchy nut.
Laughing at my own jokes. It's going to be my brand.
Yeah. Well, why don't you change it? You should have itchynut.com. All right.
Okay. Why not? Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
That's a good idea, and I'm going to make a lot of nut jokes all the time.
Yeah, and you'll have a lot of nutty friends.
It's going to be a hard nut to crack.
Yeah.
Bah ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Okay, that wasn't funny.
No.
What did I want to say?
I don't know.
Hey, that was this.
Gotta crack the builder.
The thing when I was looking at that webinar the other day, right? Listening to that webinar the other day. I wasn't just looking, obviously. I was listening too.
Did you pick up anything from that webinar talk? This
lady, and he said something that I liked.
He or she?
She said. Did I say he? It was a she, but she had a man next to her, so it's kind of both, right?
I saw that because I walked over at one point and I saw this. I saw a woman and a guy, and the woman was going with her arms in the air, and I was like,
and the guy was sitting and going.
I was like, well, that's a weird kind of presentation.
Yeah, she's good though. And at one point, she said, "Brand is just something that you do consistently," which I liked. And I do consistently laugh at my own jokes, right?
Laugh at myownjokes.com.
So that's going to be
your brand.
Part of my brand.
Yeah. You could change your second name, right? To Laugh.
Yana Laugh. It just sounds stupid.
That's why it's funny. You're gonna laugh, right? Don't laugh.
Gärna. She call myself Ghana.
Look the way the way the English say laugh though. If they don't say laugh, they say larf. It's like L-A-R-F.
Laugh.
Having a larf.
I know. It's the intrusive R. It's called.
R. Was that intrusive?
Yeah. It's the yeah. Yeah.
Oh dear. Right. We've derailed the whole conversation. No.
Yeah. So yeah.
The 4 C's of parenting.
Mm-hmm.
Like the 7 C's of
Four
rye.
C's of parenting. Okay, the Mediterranean Sea, Mediterranean. Sorry.
How did Queen come up with that title, the 7 C's of rye? What a ridiculous.
I don't even know what that is. What did you just say?
It's a song with the great piano part in it.
Yeah. How does it go? Not the piano part. How does the song go?
Oh, it's all pompous and over the top, like all of their stuff.
Of course.
Fear me, you lords and lady preachers, as I descend upon you. Was it naked from the skies? It's weird. It's all pompous and way over the top. Something like that.
That's a really
maybe
boring
it's named
melody,
after. It's probably named after some famous book that I don't know. Actually, I've probably just embarrassed myself again. Anyway.
Again.
Yes, again. Actually, I saw on Facebook yesterday that they were playing in Budapest.
Who?
Queen.
When?
Last night.
What? Are you joking?
No, I'm not, because I was like, somebody posted online a selfie picture of themselves and a couple of tickets, and I was like, oh, that looks interesting. What's that? And
but they're dead.
Well, not all of them.
Yeah, well, kind of the substantial part of them.
Okay, like
right?
9/10 of them are dead, right? Because the singer made up most of everything. That's why the band didn't do anything after he died, right?
Yeah.
But
how can they? I mean, that's just wrong.
Well, it's a bit. What's the word? I want
desperate?
to say. No? Yeah, something like that. Something beginning with D.
Desolate.
Disingenuous.
Demented. Oh, sorry.
It's all these Harry Potter references now, isn't it?
Disingenuous. What's the? Okay. New word.
New word alert.
Ding.
Should pop up.
Write it down. Put it in a dictionary.
When
if
you
don't know what it
R2D2
means.
beep like this, turn the page.
That was not R2D2.
That was
Chopper.
I can't do R2D2. I can't do the beep 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 beep. I can't.
Well,
I can't
me neither. Because I'm not. But I can do pretty decent chopper.
You can do a decent chopper.
Yeah, I can. I know you're laughing at my jokes. They're not even jokes.
So come on then, do a chopper. Come on.
Chopper goes.
How does chopper go?
Pop, 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 pop. Seriously, ask Will.
Pop, 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 pop. He doesn't do that at all.
Yes, he does. Pop, 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 pop. Even Jasmine can do chopper. I just closed my article because I know it by heart.
I don't know which thing to respond to, because you sort of had half a sentence and then put something else in the middle and then went back to the first sentence.
That's because my brain multitasks and it thinks 4 things at the same time.
What? I'm on my... No.
This part of brain thinks something else than this part of brain thinks. So we've got like 2 thoughts going parallelly. Parallelly. How do you?
Don't ask. I haven't been there. I don't know. I don't know how it works or how it goes.
How do you create an adverb from parallel?
What do you?
I need to put my foot somewhere.
I need to stand in an authoritative pose.
Parallelly.
What?
With each other.
Who?
My thoughts.
Why?
Because that's how woman's brain works. It's a female brain thing. Male brain is like One brain, one thought.
Yeah, you're missing the visuals on the podcast. I apologize for that.
And female
visuals
brain.
are quite ridiculous.
Female brains
I can imagine.
One thought goes here and one thought goes there, and another thought goes there and another thought goes there, and they're all happening at the same time.
Is that why you can't have a conversation with women, because they always end up?
I can. You can't.
I can't because they don't seem to listen.
Zorinka, please don't do that. I'm worried that those
Zora, get off there
blankets
right now, because your sister will copy
might-
you. You won't have an accident, but your sister will. You have to take care of your sister. You have to realize that you are a model for her, and she's going to copy the things that you do. So, please take care of her the same way that we take care of you, or in a similar way. That would be respectful.
Thank you, darling.
Yes, and thank you for listening. Thank you for paying attention.
That wasn't to you. Don't turn it off yet.
What?
You said thank you for listening. I'm just telling them that you didn't say that to them.
It wasn't for you. Stop listening.
Don't stop listening. Keep on listening.
Don't stop me now.
Don't stop believing.
No, you've just derailed it again.
Okay, so what are the 4 C's of
I can't go high enough.
parenting? What are the 4 C's of parenting?
Somebody to
C number 1.
love. Okay, see, I disagree with this. I like to bring up articles
And disagree with them.
that are very authoritative, and then just disagree with them.
I love those authoritative articles that tell you that this is the only thing that's right and everything else is wrong.
Yeah, well, they don't even say this is the only thing that's right. This is the way, and it's like absolutely not the way. So it's obviously
Doesn't even question anything.
Apparently, the 4 C's are choices, consequences, consistency, and care. We're not going to get through them all because we never get through everything. Saying that, we never do what we say we're going to do. So because I've said that we never.
Sorry.
Zora, could you not jump up and down on the floor like it's a trampoline, please? And
Darling, sit down and watch a movie, or I'm gonna turn it off, sweetie, if you're not watching it.
Yeah.
Because then there's no point of it being on. Is there?
No, absolutely not. Except that we need something that will keep their attention for long enough, while we try to keep their attention for long enough as well. Choices. Okay.
Choices. What do they mean by choices?
Well, right. Well, providing your child with choices that fit reasonable constraints allows them to practice decision making and build a sense of autonomy and growing independence. Now, I think that's nonsense, simply because you're giving them false choices, right? It says allow them to have choices within certain constraints so that they develop autonomy. And my perspective is that if you don't have the option to opt out, it's not actually a real choice.
It's not a real choice. Also, I have seen this many times, right? Like, my child is very independent. What do I do? And then you've got like, oh, give them choices. Always give them 2 or 3 things to pick from, and that will give them the feeling of power. Well, guess what? Kids are not stupid. It won't give them the feeling of power. To a certain extent.
But it does work with adults.
To a certain extent, it might, if it's something that the child wants to do. But if it's something that the child doesn't want to do, it's not going to work. I mean, I have a very opinionate, independent child called Zora, okay? And
Zora.
Yeah, that's her down there, sitting on the something. And it doesn't work. If she doesn't want to put her clothes on, I can put this frilly skirt and this frilly skirt in front of her and say, which one do you choose? And she's gonna say, none, Mom, because I don't want to wear clothes. Because kids are not stupid, right?
They're not stupid, but what bothers me is them subconsciously conforming to their parents' wishes when their parents give them a choice. choosing what they think will make their parents happy rather than what they actually want to choose. So that kind of bothers me in choices.
To a certain extent, it's a life skill. I think, being able to suppress your own wants for a while just to come to some kind of compromise is not a bad thing. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's a bad thing, okay, well, I realized that I have to wear clothes now because of this and that, so I might as well, choose something that's comfortable. But first thing is they need to understand why they have to wear clothes, right? That's why I gave up, putting clothes on Zora when we're inside, because she just asks me, Mom, and why? Right?
Well, that's a good point. I mean, why?
Why? I'm at home. We're not going anywhere. Nobody's here to see me naked. I'm not cold. So why the hell should I bother putting some clothes on? And I'm speechless. I don't know. There's no point. You're right. Stay naked. Whatever. Right?
Yeah, if you've got that privacy available within your own home, there's absolutely no problem with that. There's no reason to worry about.
And she understands that when we want to take a video or we want to take pictures or we want to go outside, that it's time to put our clothes on. And she has no problem doing that. Mm-hmm. So giving her a pseudo choice just doesn't really help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, false choices.
Yeah.
Any choice which doesn't take into account a choice from the perspective of the child or an opportunity to opt out completely is in fact not really a real choice. And people understand that the choices they're given are not real, especially kids. And I just want to point this out because there was a local election recently, right?
Oh,
and
God, yes.
Everyone is so happy that they've thrown out the socialist and voted in the communist. I just think it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. Like 2 frilly skirts, right? You don't want frilly skirts. Your feet are freezing and you want to wear socks, but there are no socks and you have to choose one of the skirts and you're like, okay, which one's gonna be better for my feet? None.
A representative democracy where people are happy that they don't have certain people. That confuses me as well. So
it's what it became. I mean, this whole system, every single election that's happening, every single election that I can remember that has been happening in this country was choosing the lesser of two evils. Every single one.
Yeah, because good people look at the situation and go,
what's the point? I mean, I'm sticking in the vote because I want this person to be in the government. But what it became here in Slovakia is I'm putting in the vote because I don't want the other person to be there. I don't really want this one to be there either, but I have no choice.
Yeah, and then when you know how it works, you can channel that power into your own political group as well, because you can say, look, it doesn't matter whether you believe in me or not, but I'm the best alternative to them, and it just becomes
it's all turned from positive to negative. It's just like, like you've got those pictures and sometimes you have that feature in your picture thing that you can turn it into negative, right? You can flip the picture into negative. It's like the democracy has been flipped into negative, right? Mm-hmm. And instead of choosing someone you want to be in the government, you're just choosing someone you don't want the least to be in the government. It's just all wrong. It's all wrong. It's all wrong.
Yeah, well, I don't see any immediate solution to that, but the point we want to make is that if you're going to have choices, make them real choices.
Yes.
And we've explained what those are, so we're not going to repeat it. The next C is consequences. I like that word, that sequence becomes consequence, where sequence suggesting order of events, a correct order of events. Yes, darling, if you feel the need that you have to use the potty, then please go ahead.
She likes the thumbs up.
Yeah.
Jazzy.
Cool. Super cool. Right. So I'm going to read what it says here, and we can accept or reject.
You have
as
to
we
read
like.
it in that funky British accent, though.
Okay. Consequences can be. I just feel like I've joined like Top Gear or the Grand Tour or something when I do that, because I just imagine.
That's good.
Richard Hammond, James May, or Jeremy Clarkson. Anyway, in my dreams.
That's what you've been dreaming about last night.
Well, they had to postpone the
That's
start
why
of
you
the
made
series
that noise and stuff.
because of because Hammond crashed again.
Again.
Right.
When will he ever learn to drive?
Don't know. They should take his license away from him.
I mean, he crashed more times than I did.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Saying something.
Shut up and read it.
Consequences can be either good or bad. I just can't get through it. But it is important that your child grasp that consequences are a result of his or her choices. Providing consequences that make sense will allow your child to understand how his choices will influence outcomes. I can't do it. For example, and here we go.
Give me the example.
You can either choose to speak respectfully right now, or you will need to take some time in your room. That's horrible. That's absolutely horrible.
How does that make sense?
That doesn't make any sense.
That's not a sensible consequence for crying out loud.
It's not a sensible situation. It's not.
But you either talk to me respectfully and I'll respond, or you don't talk to me respectfully and I ignore you. I mean, that would be a sensible consequence, right?
She's driving the potty under the carpet.
Yeah, I've noticed. Because she wanted the alien.
That isn't the most ridiculous conversation ever. Oh my god.
Completely natural.
Yeah.
She loves driving the potty.
She does, especially when she's got an alien in her hands. Right.
Good job, Jazzy. You got it.
Super sweet, super cool. Welcome to the conversation, Katka. I'm sure that we're going to make no
entertain you.
Yes, let us entertain you tonight.
That is, well, this is another fake thing, right? I mean, providing fake consequences. It's like, it's a punishment. It's not a consequence. It's a punishment. If your child is being disrespectful to you and you send them to a room, you're giving them a timeout, and it's a punishment. It's not a consequence. I know that you like to call it that sometimes to make yourself feel better, but it's not, okay? A consequence is a natural thing. You don't have to provide it. It just happens, right?
Yeah.
You have to. You can explain it, right?
I agree.
I can explain it. If my child talks disrespectfully, I can tell them, okay, well, if you talk to people like this, they will not want to talk to you, or they will respond, aggressively or whatever, because it's not a polite way to talk. Mm-hmm. I can even respond that way myself naturally, because if somebody's being disrespectful, I'm not going to be, nicey.
The child's not going to understand any consequences as you jump in with a punishment.
Yeah.
In the middle of something.
Yeah, because that's not a consequence. It's just not.
No, that's a...
It's a P. It's not a C.
It's an interruption, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's an interruption in the processes. So, welcome to the conversation, Mal. You've missed the entire part where I do fake Scottish and English accents. But never mind.
Yeah. So feel free to leave a comment in the comment window box thing.
Have you used the internet before?
What? Used what?
The what?
What are you talking about?
Oh, what's just this thing I've heard about?
What net?
Yeah. I've got a tablet.
What? You mean Scottish tablet? Where is it? Let me have some.
Oh, do you make tablet as well? No.
How many tablets do you have? And how many tablets did you ever make? You should. It's probably not a countable noun, is it? How much tablet have you made?
I made Scottish toffee.
No, you have. You have put the wrong letter there. You wanted to say I ate Scottish toffee.
Oh.
That's a difference.
Okay, you change T to a C and get coffee. Anyway, no, I did. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Jasmine, would you like to get off your potty, sweetie?
Potties with wheels. I tell you, someone needs to invent potties with wheels, or market it, or sell them, because
be that someone. Because you want your child.
Be the change we want to see.
Because you want your child race around your flat with pee under their butt.
Yes.
Jasmine, can I help you?
So
would you like to get off the toffee?
Coffee? Toffee coffee?
Would you like to get off the potty?
Hello?
No?
No. She's fine.
She's not.
She's not.
She's not happy. She can't get
over the
bump.
Over the bumps into the other room. No.
Ah! Whatever's in there is gonna spill.
There's nothing in there.
How do you know?
Well, I don't know. I'm guessing.
Darling, you wanna get off the potty?
Experience teaches us the things that we don't know. There we go. I was right. You see, I was right. Anyway, so we were talking about consequences, and consequences are in essence natural and should be natural. If you're jumping in as a parent, then you're not really allowing the natural events to take their course. So
if you want to choose punishment for your children, do it, but call it what it is, right?
Yeah. Call it what it is.
Call it what it is. Don't pretend that it's something natural when it's not.
Yeah, people often change the names of things just to make themselves feel more comfortable. So
yeah.
Right. Okay, moving on. Maybe we can squeeze in one more.
Consistency.
Consistency. Right.
That's all I can read from here.
Okay,
so.
I did my accent again. Right.
Go on.
Mean consistency. The third C of parenting. Mean what you say.
Hi.
I'm back too.
She's back.
She's back. Mean what you say and say what you mean. This, I'm not even sure I understand that. The principle helps young people, again, to gain. I can't speak.
She's brought me money.
Well, you're rich.
Yeah.
She brought you money.
Yeah. Here, pay your debts.
Stubbins. I'll be rich now. Be able to afford my own home. Oh.
No, you won't. This is mine.
Just for a second there, I could dream just for a second. Anyway.
I meant what I said, and I said what I meant. An elephant's truthful 100%.
You what now? What?
Well, you said mean what you say and say what you mean. Right?
Yeah, I thought you were going to come in with some quote from some...
That was a
like
quote.
My Fair Lady or something.
That was a quote from the Who? The Whoville? What was it called?
the Whoville? What are you talking about?
What was it called?
Is that a Dr. Zeus thing?
Yeah.
No, it sounds like a Dr. Zeus thing. I have no idea which film it is, but
yeah.
it just sounds like a Dr. Zeus thing. Right,
I forgot what it was called. Something with who.
But that's not very helpful. Horton says...
Horton hears a who. That's it. Horton hears a who.
I still haven't seen... That's a book and a film, right?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Okay. Mean what you say and say what you mean. This principle helps young people gain a stable... It's my Prince Charles accent. This principle helps young people gain a stable sense of how to interact with other people. Although your child will eventually encounter people who will be emotionally and behaviorally inconsistent, such as their parents, with her or him, she needs you, or a member of the royal family, she needs you to offer the kind of consistency more wine, please.
Just Charles, drink. Charles.
Drinky. I don't know, but he does look like a teapot. That creates a positive standard. It will support disciplinary action when she knows you mean what you say, and you say what you mean. Note, parents should always be on the same page.
Okay, well, one thing
Yeah, I'm giving you a count. We've got a 5-minute countdown because we're on the TikTok clock
Parents
today.
can't always be on the same page because they're two different people, okay? And they are going to disagree at some point. And the kids should know, that's number one. And the kids should know that disagreement is a normal thing and that communication happens and compromise happens. And, you know, they should observe that happening in the family. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But yes, at the end, they should come to a conclusion that will suit everybody, both parents and the child. Second, I agree with the fact that consistency is important, yes.
Yeah, consistency, stability.
But also, I wouldn't be consistent, like for the sake of consistency. I'm not sure I can explain this in English language. Me no speak English. You don't want to. What's the word?
Well, maybe I can
sacrifice.
Hello?
Being human.
You want to sacrifice people?
Being
Throw
human.
them on bonfires.
I mean,
burn them.
You have to have a certain amount of flexibility, because in some situations will require a different approach. Maybe, you know, going against the consistent approach.
Well,
do you know
well, you have to grow, right?
Uh-huh.
And grow might require you coming to a different conclusion at some point in time.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
There's going to be
new information.
exceptions.
Yeah, let's say you spank your child, and then someone shows you these reports that spanked children have dropped 5 points in IQ, right?
Yeah.
And then you're like, "Ooh, that's not good. So I'm not going to spank my children because spanked children, have lower IQs in these studies." And so my response and my reaction is going to be different then because I've learned and I've grown.
Yes, exactly. So you don't stay consistent just for the sake of being consistent. If you know that something has to be changed, or if you know that an exception, can be made or should be made in a certain situation. So consistency is good, but consistency is a good servant, but a bad master.
Wasn't that something else that's a good servant? And
it's a lot of things.
Government,
that
no? No, government.
Fire?
Not even fire.
Are they fire?
Fire?
It applies to a lot of things. Anyway, it applies to consistency as well. Shall we squeeze the care? What's the time?
No.
What's the time?
We're not going to squeeze.
Oh my gosh, we can't squeeze the care.
We're not going to.
Oh, that's a
shame. We're not going to squeeze the care.
Well, the last one is care. It's like be careful. I don't know.
There's a picture of a woman strangling a kid.
Looks like it, yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah.
That's the way it is in some families.
Care for your children. I think that's enough said. Yeah.
So 4 C's to think about in terms of parenting. The choices that you make to give real choices to your children. The consequences, the natural flow of events that exists. The consistency. The realization about the need for stability in relationships.
Something going wrong. It's probably telling us to stop. It's telling us to shut up.
Whoa,
we're on again.
We lost
the connection for a while
for about 10 seconds there. So I'm going to do this very quickly because it might happen again. We've got the choices, we've got the consequences, we've got the consistency, and we've got the care finally.
That's the 4 C's. There's a lot of other letters to parenting as well.
Yeah, and there are Yes.
Yes. If you would like to, to know more, if you would like to know more about parenting or about our approach to parenting, which is really super cool.
She's because blowing her own trumpet.
Yes, I'm blowing my own trumpet because it's all based on scientific research, and it's psychological and developmental research. So if you would like to know more about our approach to parenting and about all the other letters, not just the 4 C's, that's what I'm going to call it.
Can you relax, please? Stop panicking.
I'm panicking because it's very late.
Stop panicking. Stop panicking.
Then
stop it. Wait.
I'm not panicking. I'm just talking now.
Okay, can I finish? Because I've got to go. I've got a meeting.
Well, I was just going to tell them where to find us.
Okay,
Then you can find us.
10 seconds.
You can find us.
The Academy of Language Therapy and Life Coaching on YouTube and Facebook. Please like, subscribe, join in the conversation.
21st Century Mum, spelled MUM.com.
We have a newsletter. You can sign up for that. You can leave any questions or comments wherever you find us online. And
I'm on Facebook as well under 21stcenturymum.com as well. So you can as well join as well. And like. As well.
All right, dude, it done. That's it for today. Thanks very much, and we hope that we provided you with some kind of content and a little bit of entertainment on the way.
We're normal.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Where do I put my hand?
Here.
There.